Welcome to the Basu Lifestyle Show. This is a show about learning what it takes to build a superior you. We're talking mentally, physically, and financially. Today we have Matt Lee. Matt Lee Fit on Instagram. He competed nationally for 6 years in men's physique with NPC, which he's going to explain, and also is the owner of Team Make Waves. They're a fitness coaching app.
Yep.
Are you guys an app?
Yeah, I would say an online fitness coaching company.
Okay.
But we have an app, so.
Yeah, like all inclusive.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you're slowly growing. You now have people who work for you doing training.
Yep, so we have over 185 clients, and this past year I hired my first 3 assistant coaches. I have a social media girl working for us now too, so slowly starting to outsource some of the work.
Okay.
So-
So you can do workout plans, you can do nutrition. How many things can you technically do and give to your clients?
A lot.
Without getting too deep, just so people stick around and watch through the whole fucking episode.
So the biggest thing we really help people out is just more so begin to build a foundation when it comes to the health and fitness journey.
Okay.
So the biggest piece of that, of course, is going to be helping them with nutrition, as we provide more so like macro-based nutrition plans, and also on top of that, help out with like workout guidance. So building them out workouts depending on what their goal is going to be.
Okay, so we're going to dig into nutrition, weightlifting, and give people a basic foundation, where to contact you.
Yep.
Tony, what do you want to throw in before we get started?
I mean, I've personally been a client of yours with much success before we had the baby. We spent all of 2021 pretty much from May until point of conception in November. I was on your program. I went from a very fluffy 328-pound supple gorilla to a like 271-pound.
Yeah.
I was starting to literally see steady progress.
Yeah, literally week over week.
Yeah, until we started messing with my TRT for pregnancy needs. But I mean, it was I've been a trainer since I was 18 years old, and I've had multiple coaches. But it's just a different kind of avenue that I was used to. Normally, I'm used to the person in front of me yelling at me, or like, you know, I like working out with people, so it was kind of a different change for me to have to follow the app.
Yeah.
But I love the app to the point where we've adopted it now for World Fitness.
Yeah.
So now we use it for some of our clients.
Yeah,
so that's
no, it's
what we're
fantastic, man.
So I personally had experience with Team Make Waves, and it's a community. Well, once you get plugged in, to not only your workouts and stuff, even the Facebook groups, everybody's always uplifting on the Facebook groups.
Yep.
I don't know any of them personally. I think I've met 1 or 2 who traveled out just to check our gyms out because they're part of the team. But I love what you guys are doing.
Thank you, man.
Yeah.
That means the world. Again, to have you part of it too is freaking awesome. So.
Yeah, no, I think what you guys are trying to do now is something that I wish was existent when I was coming up at 18, 19, 20 years old at the YMCA. I think I got so in tune to the old school way of doing things that it took literally 20 years for me to kind of step outside the mold and realize there's a different way to do this and have it work.
Yeah.
And you guys have made a business for you guys.
Yeah.
And it's a scalable business, as you said. You're growing your team. You're having social media people now.
Yeah.
And you got a nice, steady 5-year plan.
Yeah, and that's the thing too, is I started off training in a gym like this. You know, I was working full time. When I graduated college, just doing a 9 to 5 at like a typical desk job, and wasn't too in love with it. So I was doing training at the side, and the same situation kind of presented itself. I saw so much more of an opportunity to grow and to scale doing it online based. Just because, you know, when I was training a client for 30 to 60 minutes in gym, I can work with 5 to 6 people online doing check-ins.
Plus, I mean, if you're working out of a gym and you're anchored to the gym, you're only going to see who comes to the gym.
Yeah, that's
By
it.
having an online presence, you're open to the entire world. See, people scrolling might see one of your posts and say, "Fuck it, let's try this challenge."
Yeah.
Or let's try it out for a month. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, and you give enough just actionable steps to take for somebody to get started, and then they'll slowly follow you, slowly learn as you go. So let's learn a little bit about you before we dig into what you can kind of give away and what you can do for them. In high school, were you into weightlifting? Were you into sports? What kind of got you on this journey?
Love the gym. So it all started when I was a freshman in high school. My dad got a bench for our garage because he was a big football player throughout high school and college. So he was like, "Hey, we're gonna start hitting the gym," just because I started expressing that I wanted to start lifting weights because I played lacrosse and I was a wrestler.
Okay.
So he was like, to be able to, of course, be competitive in wrestling, especially, he's like, "I want to be able to, start working out with you." So we started working out in the garage together. I'll never forget those days. But it really built that foundation and that drive of just being able to just me against me, right? With the iron.
Oh yeah.
So I fell in love with that, man. And as soon as I was able to join the gym, I think I had to be 16. So when I turned 16, I was a sophomore, and that's when I was able to go to the gym without like a legal guardian. So went to Retro Fitness, literally was there every freaking day, man. So I was like your typical gym guy in high school, nonstop working out. But it was great because it corresponded to what I was able to do in the wrestling room. It corresponded to what I was able to do on the lacrosse field. I played college lacrosse for a D3 school, but we made it to the NCAAs every year, so we were really competitive. But it just really allowed me to excel in the field. But it was just my escape, to be able to go into the gym and just focus on me.
I think I agree. Like having that escape, and then also having that place where you learn, like, oh, if I put in work, I get results. Because when you're young, where else do you really have besides sports and weightlifting to do that? Because school, I mean, you get a grade, which if you really don't care about school that much, it's like, oh, it's just a grade. Or like weightlifting, you see the results, you see yourself getting in shape. How about eating wise? Were you always a good eater, bad eater?
Well, back then, man, I could eat whatever I want and just be shredded. So I was definitely lucky with genetics back then. Just because I was in the gym all the freaking time working out.
Never had that problem.
It's catching up to me now a little bit. Things are starting to slow down. But no, I was very fortunate back in the day. But I think it also because I literally was in the gym, and I mean, there's a little bit of an addicted nature, which I wouldn't suggest. But that's who I was back then. That was my identity.
Like, if you're gonna have an addiction,
it's a great addiction to have.
It's a fucking great addiction. Being addicted to yourself is amazing. And especially, we were just talking about this before the show, and I said I was going to say it again. We live in like a society where there's a need for instant gratification. There's no such thing in a gym. You don't get instant gratification unless you're looking for a minuscule pump. It's long term. You get to put the work in.
Where a lot of photos edited. Seems like that's a thing nowadays.
That's coming up. Yep.
That's what do you think about that? You see somebody in the gym and you're like, oh, he looks like he works out. Then you see the same guy on Instagram and you're like, wait, that's not even the same person.
But here's the thing. I don't want to say I've never photoshopped my images, but it's one of those things. Like I'll take photos of me with a pump in the gym.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
You got about 2.5 minutes before that edema starts to
it starts to go down a little bit. So I take advantage of it.
Yeah, but there's a difference between a pump and like
and what they're doing in Photoshop.
Clearly edited.
No, I try to stay out of it. It is what it is at this point. You know what I'm saying? And I hate to say it too. The truth always comes out. Like there's people now that literally make their social media presence about calling those people out and catching them, which I think is hilarious.
Yeah.
So.
Well, who just got exposed? Fucking Liver King. What do you think about that?
He's just doing what he's doing. You know?
Like it was pretty obvious.
But
like all three of us could have been like, he's on steroids.
That's the thing, because people would ask me like, is this guy on steroids? 100%. But the situation is, a lot of people that I would say aren't very well versed in the gym and like the bodybuilding space, they have no idea. They look at that guy and they literally think like eating liver and
nuts.
Just training as hard as he trains is going to get you that physique.
Somebody ate balls because of it. That's what probably.
Lots of people ate balls because of it. But like, my whole thing is steroids don't make you ripped. He still has to probably put in an astronomical amount of work. But like, just be honest. Like, if you know that 90% of the audience that you're kind of talking to are gym goers or people who want to better themselves, there's a difference between having full flexion abs every single moment of the day. That doesn't exist in real life. And it's for such a long period of time. And if it does, it's to a point where you're almost anti-healthy. It's not sustainable. It's not healthy, right? And I'm not going to throw shade. He's doing his own thing. That's his thing. Now he's kind of winding it back and saying, moving forward, I am going to be this person. Good. If it's a learning experience that you needed, by all means. But like,
I just feel like you have to have integrity and honesty, and that's the only thing I don't like. Just be honest about what you're doing. Nobody would have cared if you said you're on steroids in the beginning. Steroids are like fucking smoking weed now. Who cares?
When they come out and say, hey, listen, I'm on PEDs. Well, no shit. I mean, thank you for saying that. But like, everybody knew. My only thing is like, if children are involved, like if you're talking to an audience that you know people under the 18 who are super influenced easily are going to be listening to, just cut the bullshit. Be straight. Because you gotta have these kids going through the fucking literature, so looking for testes and looking for raw liver. And I mean, say what you want to say, your gut biome isn't really built for raw anything. These nuts. But we're going down a rabbit hole. But just honor and integrity. I like that's the easiest way to kind of put it.
Have a foundation from the beginning of honesty, and you don't be leaving people to put balls in their mouth.
We'll just have to see what transpires with it next. I'm not gonna subscribe to anything until I know that it's legitimate. You know. I'm definitely not putting a testicle in my mouth.
I love it. No, it was good entertainment. But again, it still is good entertainment.
It still is. So I watched probably 3 clips of them eating shit today, and I'm like, no.
But some of it too, you like get sunlight. Like a couple of his core values
those are
made
some basics.
sense. It just like it just kills your.
I think are fucking amazing. But did you do them all? Are you doing them all? Are you? I mean,
once you're
putting
up
in the
once,
work,
you fuck up everything.
But like, PEDs aren't natural, man. You're not getting that from nature.
Nope.
Like that, if that's one of the things that you are preaching, it's like, hey, I sell Fords for a living. I'm driving home in a Honda.
Yeah, but your Honda,
Takes
It has
steroids.
like a Ford emblem on it. That's
Right.
the problem.
Yeah, well, Honda takes steroids.
Yeah. All right, we'll move back to something a little more.
All
Let's make this about you.
We're in high
I
school
love it.
now. So you said that you have the nostalgia of working out with your dad in the garage, and
Yep.
it kind of drove you through, being able to wait your time out, join a gym.
Yep.
Playing sports, playing lacrosse.
What'd you go to school for? College.
Business. So I was a double major of marketing and entrepreneurial studies.
Okay. So you
So-
graduated college, and then what'd you do that you didn't like?
So, well, kind of backtracking. So
Yeah.
I grew up down Long Beach Island.
Okay.
So just kind of around the Jersey Shore. So I had my own business back then of catching and selling bait to all the tackle shops. So I kind of started getting tastes of like entrepreneurship back then. Little did I know,
How old were you?
I started when I was in 5th grade.
See?
But the
It's
crazy,
different now.
but that's the thing. I look back. I didn't appreciate it then, but the older that I get, I look back now and I'm like, holy crap! Like this.
Fuck yeah, man.
Like
I was
this-
washing cars in my red flyer wagon in the neighborhood.
Damn.
I was going door to door washing cars on Saturdays with my brother.
Damn.
Like, that was our grind. And then I was cutting lawns.
I love it, man.
Yeah.
Like I appreciate it now. Like back then, I was bitching about it just
Yeah.
because I was like, it's a lot of work.
Gotta fucking work today.
You know. But yeah, so I went to college for marketing and entrepreneurial studies, graduated, and I got an internship with this company called Turn 5, which again, loved them every single second of it. Like if I had to fall into something in the corporate world, I'm glad it was this. Just because it dealt with like aftermarket car parts. I had a Mustang. They had Mustang car parts. I was like, this is pretty cool. I'm still doing something I enjoy with cars. But always knew I was destined for more. Just working for somebody else, I hated it. I hated having to ask for PTO. I hated having,
Permission.
yes, not having that freedom. It drove me crazy.
Yeah, like I know what I need to do, but why do I have to ask you?
Yep.
Yeah.
It drove me crazy. And that's what, that drive was there. Like every single day I was like just wanting to be back on my boat, doing all the bait stuff that I was doing. And then I was like, I'm passionate about the gym. I'm passionate about what I was doing in bodybuilding at the time. That I was like, this has to be my, my escape, right? To get out of that corporate world.
Okay. So you leave there and just start, or did you start it on the side before?
So I started on the side. I built this business up. I graduated in 2016, and I left in 2019 to go full time with this.
Okay.
So it took 3 years to build it up to a point that I was comfortably financially to take that leap.
So 2019, you take the leap. Were you doing this part time? You said. Did you have a bunch of clients? I mean, how were you financially able to make that jump out of a full time career into this without the guarantee a month?
Yeah, so I knew I was comfortable living off of what I was making at Turn 5.
Okay.
That steady paycheck that was coming in. So that was my first.
So that's X.
Yep, that was my first X. I told myself if I had 3 months in a row that I was making the same amount of money from that Turn 5 job or more, I was ready to do this. Just because the entire 3 years I was building the business up, I had literally 2 paychecks coming in. I had Turn 5 coming in, I had the business money coming in. I didn't touch. I put that money away just because I knew one day I was going to be able to take this jump, and I wanted that safety net there.
Yeah.
So 2019 happened. The first month came by. We hit that number that I was making at Turn 5. The second month came by. We were making a little bit more, and the third month came by, and I was like, holy shit, like we're ready to do this. So I put my 2 weeks in, and then the 2 weeks went by, came home for 2 weeks, and literally COVID happened. Shut down every freaking gym. So I was shitting my pants, man.
Okay. So what'd you do?
Converted everything to home workouts.
Pivot. Yeah.
Yep. So we literally, my wife and I started filming every single exercise with dumbbells, resistance bands. We were stuffing water jugs in backpacks.
Dude, we were using paint cans in our garage.
Yeah, gnarly. I was putting like literally cinder
Yeah.
blocks on like a freaking iron bar from Home Depot. Like we were just filming the most random stuff in our living room, and I was just marketing COVID-friendly workouts, and the business just blew up.
Oh shit.
Like that,
okay.
once I left my Turn 5 job, I think I was at 55 clients, and we literally within those 3 or 4 months, I blew up to 133.
Yeah, instead of feeling sorry for yourself, like, oh, I picked the worst possible time, you pivoted, made it work.
Yep. Yep.
See, I'm in a market where I'm just now learning how to use the tools that we use for the app and stuff.
Mhm.
And I was like, I didn't want to do online. I didn't want to
Yep.
do anything when we first shut down. I said, I'm going to train people in my gym,
Yep.
one at a time. But I'm going to give out free content through Instagram. So every day I posted a daily workout of the day.
Yep.
And that was free. So do it. If you don't, that's cool too. It's yours to have if you want it. And if you don't, no hard feelings. If you do it though, I want to hear you. I want to hear about it.
Yep.
And so it's kind of like a call to action. Like, so we would have people tagging us in their home workouts. My wife, she was doing them every single day. She was filming it, putting it up there.
Yeah, which is great.
And they're still on there for people like to scroll back and find
Yeah.
stuff. But I mean, it was just a nice way to contact and like connect with people who, like, we missed our gym people.
Yeah.
Like, every single gym has its own community in it. And when you're taken away from them for, even when someone's out for 2 weeks, you're like, hey, where have you been? I haven't
Yeah.
seen your face in 2 weeks. It's just a different feeling.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like that's when we doubled down on the Facebook group.
Yeah.
Just because I had that community, right? Like a majority of our clients are from New Jersey, Delaware, and PA. So I'm fortunate to see those people a lot. Because I offered to, hey, come down and train with me. Like, I want to meet you. I want to, welcome you to this family. So when that happened, the gym shut down. Like, a lot of people were going through a lot of, like, I would say, like, mental toughness at that time. So that's when I was like, you know what, we're gonna go on the Facebook group and be able to pull everyone together in that Facebook group. And the most random thing, but like it worked. Like that really brought people together. People were like, in it together for a community.
It was definitely a time where you were already left alone all day long.
Yep.
It was nice to not be left alone during something that was so vital to your being,
Yep.
working out, and then socializing with it too. Because like people are still, oh man, I missed you. We still have people trickling back in. We have an older demographic in our Brigantine gym, and they're still coming back slowly but surely from being in life from COVID, almost 2 years later. And so they'll come through like, wow, it's so different. And I'm like, oh, I haven't seen you in 2 years. When I saw you at the farmer's market last week, I just haven't seen you in the gym. So it's nice. I love, that's why I like the community aspect. We put that on every single one of the walls of our gyms, so it's important to us.
And you guys are doing that here too. Like you guys had the push-up challenge.
Yep.
You guys are doing the lunch challenge now.
Yep.
Like that's what it's all about. Like,
Yeah, bringing people together,
bring
giving them
people
a
in.
reason to exercise too, give them a reason to live better, want more.
Well,
Because it seems like a lot of everything's more of like a victim mentality, and that's kind of what we're trying to be against.
Yeah. Oh, and you guys are doing a great job. Like I see that you're doing. I see the lunches. I see the push-ups you guys are doing. Like I said, little things like that. Just like you said, bring people together. It's an attractive quality. So
Yeah,
also-
I think we do a lot of that now.
I like the accountability of it too. I mean, if you want to, listen, these challenges are for you to better yourself. So if you fucking mess up on a day and don't get them done, just put the red X on the calendar.
Yeah.
Continue the rest of the month. Make up what you didn't do yesterday tomorrow.
Yep.
It's no big deal. Like we just want you to be consistent and we want you to be honest. Like if I didn't do yesterday, you'd see a red X on my calendar.
Mm-hmm.
Thankfully, my wife, if I forget before bed, will say, "Did you do your lunges?" And I'll get my ass out of bed and I'll put on a
So he's
shirt.
in the
because
kitchen.
She wants to see this. And I'm in the kitchen doing fucking lunges. Same with the push-ups. There were 2 days where she's like, "Did you do your push-ups?" And I'm like, "No, but I have to go walk the dog." She's like, "You better go do your push-ups."
Yeah.
So
That's great. That's great.
it's just a little small call to action. It's not all going to be physical, but it's something that they're two of the easiest things for people to start swallowing those pills of how do I make a change immediately with small doses.
Yeah.
Because
How do you build a habit?
Exactly.
How do you consistently do something? Because people can't consistently do things.
Well, it takes 12 weeks
I'm
to
sure
form a
you
habit,
see
right?
that with you guys training.
Oh, yeah.
Like people sign up with you and they're fucking gun ho, and then
He
a week
yelled at me
later,
2 or 3 times because I was doing too much. He's like, "If you're not going to follow my program, what's the point of you paying me to do this for you?" And I'm like, "Oh shit, you're right."
It's tough love, dude, but you gotta get that talk.
Because my body was starting to reject what we were doing. Like there were weeks where I was like, "Dude, I'm in like a 5,000 calorie deficit across the week." He's like, "Why?" He's like, "That's not what I have math-wise for you. Just fucking do what I tell you to do, and it'll work." And sometimes you need that. Like yesterday, Saturday I couldn't work out. And we were doing family shit, moving equipment, so I did yesterday's workout, Saturday's workout yesterday in the garage. And I was just like, I could have done this on Saturday. This took me like 38 minutes. There was definitely 38 minutes I could have fucking wrapped.
yeah, you just found enough excuses not to do it. Yeah, at least you're honest about
But I
it. Shit
still did the
happens.
fucking workout, and I wrote in there, "Hey, listen, shit got weird. I'm doing it on Sunday." But
You got it done.
yeah, that's all it is, man. Consistent, small steps lead to fucking large progress.
Yeah.
That's all.
That's the name of the game, man. That's what I preach to everybody.
Yeah.
Because everyone starts this up, right? They think, like you said, like they're gung ho. They think perfection's key, but perfection's not sustainable.
No.
Like I tell everybody, I'm like, if you can give me 80% compliance, I can guarantee you every single result that you want.
I tell
We
people the
just
same thing
came
is-
out with a new motto: progress, not perfection.
Yeah.
Because if you're making daily progress, you're going to build towards
Right.
becoming
Yep.
a better version of yourself.
I tell my clients the same thing. It's 100%. It's 100% the routine I give you 80% of the time.
Yeah.
You're never going to be able to tell me that you did every single thing 100% of the time because it's built for you to not be able to complete these tasks.
Yeah. That's the truth.
If I make it too attainable, you're going to get bored, you're going to peter off. If I make it too hard, you're not going to try.
Yep.
So just meet me in the middle, which is only 80%.
Yeah.
You know?
That's the truth. And like every single client that I work with that just struggles with their program, the beginning of the month, I literally will just pull up the calendar with them, and I literally will just mark what 80% looks like in that calendar. I'm like, here's like the green check mark that I need you to do every single day, and here's the red X's that can be your days that you kind of take off and just F around. And when you put it in that perspective, people are like, holy crap, like for 30 days, for the 30-day month, you have 6 days that you can just take off to do what you want to do. That's a lot.
Yeah, no, it's a good amount of days.
That's a lot. Like people look at that like that's not a lot of days, but 6 days if you literally can say F it to your program, to your diet, whatever you want to do, and you still can make great progress.
It's 20% of the
That's what I was
month.
going to say. That's more than
it's a
twice
lot-
a
It's
week.
a lot of time.
Yeah.
It's a lot of time.
So, and a lot of people, you have to try sometimes to mess around that much.
Yeah.
So
Also,
when you look at it that way.
My biggest thing from you is I still want to drink tequila.
Yep.
I'm not going on stage. Tony's never going to take it off and shake it. So I just want to make sure that I have my 1 or 2 vices left, and you work around it for me. And I love it.
Flexibility scheme, man.
Yeah.
Flexibility is key.
So dig a little deeper into Team Make Waves, the business, what you guys do for your clients. What are the main pillars of that?
So kind of walking you through the beginning to the end. So we have an individual reach out for coaching. I usually set up like a consultation call just to kind of talk to them, see if they're going to be a good fit. Just because we are picky now, just because the team continues to grow. That's the thing. Like I used to let everyone in. Like, hey, if you're trying to do this, like I'll help you get to that point. It's just draining my cup right now. It's draining my energy. Just not being picky. So I'm very selective now about the individual that we take in. So I talk to them on the phone. If they're going to be a good fit, just a good vibe, I'm like, all right, great, we can help you, of course, get to where we want to be. So with that being the case, like I always try to dig deep because anyone can have a weight loss goal in mind, right? Like I'll have people right now, especially because the New Year's coming up. They're like, hey, I want to lose 50 pounds. Hey, I want to lose 20 pounds. So the situation is like back in the day, I was like, all right, this is great. Like we're gonna make that happen. But I came to realize just going off of a number is super unmotivating down the road. But you have to have a deeper meaning behind what you do, right? So it's one of those things like that's what I try to do for every single client that we work with now. Is we'll figure out what that weight loss goal is going to be, but understand the picture behind it. You know, hey, I want to lose 50 pounds to be more active with my son at the playground come summertime.
Right, and that's when you start understanding the person.
Yep. So I just had that call. Like again, this guy I talked to last week told me originally on the consultation form, there we go, that he filled out, I want to lose 50 pounds. Started talking to him, I'm like, hey man, like what's going on? He was telling me he was at the playground with his like son, you know, this past summer. And he was like, I wasn't able to keep up with my son. I was running around, I was out of breath. I see all these other dads being active.
That's motivation.
You know what I'm saying? That's what we want to pinpoint.
Yeah, fucking right.
So from that, we craft a workout program around, you know, what he wants to do. We craft a diet around, you know, the foods that he enjoys most, the things that he doesn't want to give up, like Tony not giving up tequila. Like little things like that is going to build that sustainability long term. That flexibility is going to be key. So it's like little things like that, but that's the general kind of basis of a program.
So it's an eating plan, it's macros,
Yes.
It's workout routines that you can do from home. Do you do the workout routines too? How does that work?
So whatever they want to do with the workouts, if they want to train in the gym, we build them at gym workouts.
That's part of the consultation form you fill out. He'll ask you what equipment you have available to
Yep.
you, and you can check gym or home workout,
Yep.
and then go from there.
So it's whatever. It's literally crafted around their life, their lifestyle now, and what they want to do, what they're comfortable with. So if they train in the gym, we'll build them at gym workouts. If they want to train 4, 5, 3 days a week, we build them at those splits.
Okay.
If they want to train at home, we'll build them at home workouts. If they have no equipment, like we'll do body weight stuff. If they have limited equipment, dumbbells, resistance bands, like whatever they have, you know, we'll do.
So how does it go from there? Do you do check-ins? What's the whole process?
Yep.
look
So
like
we
for
check
that?
in every single week with them.
Okay.
Some clients require like twice a week check-ins for those that are like, you know, needing a little bit more assistance and accountability. But yeah, we check in every single week. The biggest thing with the weekly check-ins is more so about the nutrition, just because we do build out macro-based nutrition plans for them. And it's just making sure, again, like they're, hitting that 80% compliance marker. That's all I need them to do. I'm like, hey, if you can get the nutrition down 80% throughout this week, we're going to be A-okay.
Yeah.
So the biggest thing is just monitoring progress, making sure things are moving in the right direction. We have different phases that we take our clients through, which is something that we've really been, building the business off of this past year. Is we do 3 different phases. So we take them to the first phase, which is going to be what we call metabolic priming. Because a lot of the times when people come work with us, their metabolisms and hormones are just not in the best places. So it's just one of those things, like they just don't know if they're under eating. They don't know if they've been doing too much in the gym and just eating way too little. So we take them through what we call the metabolic priming phase. So just feeding into their metabolism, making sure the hormones are going to be in a good place. And that usually takes anywhere between like 3 to 4 to 5 months, just because we want to keep them there long enough. Going into that next phase is the dieting phase. That's like their favorite phase, because we start making them see the progress they want to see, and then that can be for however long they want to be in the dieting phase, to get them to where they want to be. And then the last phase is what we call lifestyle integration. So kind of like what Tony mentioned, right? We want to make sure like we can get them to that final point, but do so in a way that they can go off on their own and maintain those results.
Okay.
Because I would hate to help someone lose 50 to 100 pounds and then stop working with us
And not be able to
and put it right back on.
Right the fuck back on.
Yep. So that lifestyle integration phase is freaking key, just because we want to make sure they can go off on their own and just keep doing what they're doing.
What seems to be the hardest thing for like your clients to change?
Honestly, and this is funny to say this, but it's the simplest things. Just the daily habits and daily activities. Sleep, managing stress, and water consumption. Because people look at this, when they go into a weight loss journey or it's a health and fitness journey, they think it's all going to be about nutrition, it's all going to be about working out. Don't get me wrong, like those are 2 huge pieces of the puzzle.
Yep.
But it's the smallest things, just those daily habits.
Yeah, I mean, you're also talking about those being eating and working out are 2 hours of your 24-hour day. So what do you do with the rest of your day is what really makes matter.
Yeah, if you don't have
100%.
self-control.
Yeah.
I don't think people realize too what's in drinks. You know what I mean?
100%.
Like besides water, like club soda, things like that, a lot of even the Gatorades, they're just filled with so much sugar and garbage that people just drink all day long, especially soda.
Yep.
All that sugar, I mean, they're killing their calories right there.
Yep.
It's just.
I mean,
It's crazy.
28 grams of sugar in a small Gatorade, right? Or a small energy drink, whatever the fuck you want to call it. It's a fuck ton of sugar in a baggie.
Yeah.
It's like substantial.
When you pour it on a scale and you see it firsthand,
Yeah.
it is insane.
It's a lot of sugar.
It is insane. But that's like the thing that we help them through that because a lot of people don't realize like, all right, diet soda is a perfectly fine replacement. I know diet soda is getting a lot of hate right now, but it's totally fine to have.
It's
You
a
know,
starting
yeah,
place.
Yeah, Gatorade Zero, Powerade Zero, totally fine to be a replacement. Like little things, it's just changing a lifestyle, like building these lifestyle habits.
I mean, sometimes
So-
I use that Mio stuff every once in a while.
Squeeze it in there,
Just
man.
to-
Yeah,
yeah,
just a
just
little
to
taste,
change it
little
up.
spruce.
I just do like lemon juice or lime juice, but I mean, I'm kind of crazy.
Yeah.
So.
Whatever
I'm
works
one of
for
those
you,
people
you know?
who can do that.
Yep.
But like at least like you're saying, this is the place to start. If you're drinking 3 gallons of Coke a day,
Yep.
all right, drink 2 gallons of Diet Coke.
Yep.
This isn't the greatest. He's like, what the fuck? It's not the greatest
Put that
decision,
out
but
there.
it's a step, right? Like that's kind of the whole point. Because if I tell you to go from that to just get a gallon of water, you're gonna be like, okay, I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm
Nice
almost
talking
at-
to you.
I'm almost at 2 gallons of water a day, and I can tell you if that was fucking soda. Oh, I took
Bro,
it. Yeah.
it's
Oh.
serious. Like there's people that are drinking that much soda,
Yeah.
and you told them to stop, they're gonna be like, this isn't worth my
Yeah,
time.
they'll
over
leave.
that, over
I
that.
mean, not to
Yeah.
be rude, but have you heard of Mountain Dew Mouth?
I love Mountain Dew.
Oh my god,
But I don't know what
liked
that
Mountain
is.
Dew growing up. I don't know if I so it's like this thing where like there's this town where Mountain Dew's made. They drink more Mountain Dew per capita than water, so now their teeth are softening and rotting.
That I believe.
It's gnarly. Google it.
That I believe. Back when I was in high school, I literally had 2 Mountain Dews a day. Like Mountain Dew, before I was like introduced in the health and fitness world, I was slamming back
I
Mountain
was
Dew.
probably drinking those Hawaiian Punch like sodas.
Dude, those were great too.
You ever had one of
Those are great too.
What
This
is
kid's
it?
never had one of those.
The Hawaiian Punch, the
He's
tropical
he's been
flavor.
Juicing beets and drinking lemon water for 20
Right?
fucking years.
I've been just beet juice and
Yeah.
amino acids. My drug of choice is pre-workouts.
There we go. There we go. You gotta do what you gotta
Oh,
do.
Yeah, it is
So-
what it is.
His drug of choice is like extra lunges.
All right, so besides the drinks, where else can you kind of cut your calories? Do you believe in like an intermittent fasting or your meal thing, or it's just all goal dependent basically?
So here's the thing about fasting.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna hate on it because my one assistant coach, Mike, lost 100 pounds fasting.
Okay.
So the situation is with fasting, it's whatever's going to work for the individual. I personally would never do it because I love breakfast. I love waking up and having a big ass breakfast.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Do you know what I'm saying? So I just can't skip that meal. But some people can.
Yeah, I mean, I tried doing it. We tried doing that once,
Mhm.
and I get so depleted and shaky. If I have to do fasted cardio for 20 minutes,
Yeah.
I can fine. If I have a fasted workout though,
Yeah.
I'm shaky. I feel like I'm gonna get sick or puke.
Yep.
And like I'm searching for carbs, something immediately just to kind of spike me. And I can't do it. But like, I don't shit on it. I know a lot of
No.
people who lost a lot of weight doing it.
That's the thing. Anyone that comes in the door that tells you they fast, they've done keto, they've done X, Y, and Z, like I'll definitely will be like, you know, some dieting methods and strategies. I'll definitely like, you know, put my 2 cents in. Be like, hey, like this is how I feel about it. I'm not going to sway you in any direction. Whatever works for you.
Yeah, that's
you
not
know?
your job, right?
So like, and I'm like, I'll still help you get to that point, but there's definitely like fasting, for example. I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, at the end of the day, like if you want to fast, like as long as you get your macros in at the end of the day and you hit these numbers and do the workouts and do everything else, like we're gonna be fine.
Yeah, so you can make basically any diet work in terms of macros. Like as long as you're meeting your macros, eat however style you want. I mean, some are obviously better than others.
Yes.
But
Yes.
just meet your macros to start. Like
Yep.
I mean, it's kind of taking somebody from ground zero. You have to start somewhere.
Yep. Yep.
So-
Well, the nice thing is, it's, like he says, it's in phases. So if one of the 2 weeks into the first phase, hey, this is not working, and this is the diet that I asked you as your client to
Mhm.
give me, then you'll be like, all right, this is easy. Let's try it my way. Give me 2 more weeks
Yeah, we
until we get
pivot.
this month out. We'll pivot out. I'll upload you a new diet. Give me a couple days to work on it, and then you just switch it out.
Yeah.
And if it's the same shopping list. It's just different times of the day that you're eating.
Yeah. That's the biggest thing.
What's
And
your
that-
take on quality of food? Sorry to interrupt you.
Oh,
Like,
I know that classic thing, like you want to put regular gas in a Ferrari, right? I do believe in that. I do believe in that. But here's the situation, especially for a lot of the individuals that we work with, is they're coming to us, like you mentioned, drinking a crap ton of soda, for example, eating tasty cakes, having donuts, candy, right? So if I literally take that person from where they were and convert them over to this place of all clean whole foods, like you said, there's going to be massive withdrawal, there's going to be restriction, and they're going to hate their life. I can't do that to them.
Yeah.
I mean,
You know
it'll
what
be
I'm
real
saying?
withdrawal too. You're talking about sugar withdrawal, which
Oh,
is
terrible.
worse than
almost-
cocaine, they say.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's gnarly.
It's up. I mean, alcohol is the worst. It's one of the only withdrawals you can die from. Like, alcohol is gnarly, but like sugar is just as bad.
Yeah, no, it's and I made when I first started my coaching business, I made that mistake. I'm like, hey, like this because they would do food logs for me, and I'm like, all right, like we got to cut off the Reese's, we got to cut out the bacon, egg, and cheese from McDonald's every single day. Like, this is gonna be the whole foods that you're gonna be eating.
Well, even caffeine, man. I told you I was having like close to 1,000 milligrams of caffeine a day.
Oh, yeah.
And you were like, why?
Yeah. And that's a new thing
And I'm
we're doubling down
I'm
on.
getting to the gym at 4, I'm staying till 8 o'clock at night, and then I'm going home and still have to do shit.
Yep.
She's like, yeah, you gotta knock that off. He's
Yep.
like, let's try like 250, which was still a lot.
I was gonna say I'm probably fucking somewhere around 1,000.
Oh, dude, I couldn't do it. I was having like,
Yeah.
I went through like terrible withdrawal coming off of caffeine. It was
Oh,
bad.
hell yeah.
Now I don't even mind. I'll sip on BCAAs in the morning.
Yep.
I'll have a cup of coffee maybe. But
Yep.
it's like not something I have to have until the afternoon.
Yeah. That's a big thing. Like, going into the new year, that's one of the biggest things we're going to be focusing on is water consumption and caffeine consumption. Because people don't realize that, right?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, I do need that spike around 2 p.m., 3 p.m.
Yep.
You got your afternoon coffee ritual.
Yeah.
But I'm having a coffee or like half of a Celsius. I'm not having a Total War or whatever.
3 bangs
I got
and
shit in the
everything
fridge
else.
that's
I,
like
I
600
did move
milligrams.
away from them. I was taking some strong pre-workout. Now I just take like an Alani
Yeah,
energy
shit
drink
in the
for a
fridge out there,
workout.
it's
Just
like
like 250
600
milligrams.
Yeah, but that's
caffeine.
like I have that and probably at least 2 to 3 cups of coffee throughout the day.
It's still a lot.
But you work
I've been
long
trying.
days too.
What's that?
You work long days too.
Yeah, I've been trying to wean down. I've got the mushroom coffee.
Mm-hmm.
It actually gives you a little something.
Yeah.
I mean, not much, but at least I mix that into my coffee, so now I have a little less
Yeah, it
coffee.
gives you fucking mushrooms.
It's not shrooms, you know, it's mushrooms.
No, I heard you. You're drinking mushroom water. I got it. You're disgusting.
I drink a lot of weird shit.
Yeah, all things in moderation are key. So caffeine's definitely something, you know?
Yeah, that'd be
Caffeine's definitely
good,
something.
So with food in check and small habits being changed, and this is just so that we don't keep derailing, and workouts obviously are disseminated through the app, and the cool thing is you can substitute things, but
Yep.
your preferred method of working out, like I know that there's people who only live in the hypertrophy stratosphere, people who only lift in the squat, bench, dead, powerlifting kind of stuff, and then we have just the regular people who do 4x10s or 3x10s. What does your workout look like? Because I know what your workout for me looks like, and I'm sure that your workouts for everybody else are very different, but how do you train yourself?
I go forward with the classic bro split of
Classic.
chest and tries, back and bis, shoulders individually, legs, and then arms. That's my 5-day split.
Yeah.
So I live that, and here's the thing, I've tried a lot. I've tried push, pull, leg. It just took me way too long to get through all those, being able to target all those muscle groups, I would say, as effectively as possible within those workouts. I just didn't enjoy it.
Right.
Like, I like being able to do my 4 to 5 exercises of the chest and like 2 accessories for triceps, same thing for back and so forth. But that's what my body responds well to, you know?
That's the thing, your body's different than everybody else's. That's
Yep.
why it's...
And that's what I enjoy. Like, that's why I preach to people too. Like, you have to find something that you enjoy. And here's the thing too. Like, a lot of the people that start off with this, they don't know what their body responds well to. They have no. I asked them that. They have no idea. They're like, I don't know.
My body's gonna hurt no matter what workout I
Exactly.
do.
Exactly. So it's one of those things. Like, I always start them off with a similar split to that. I'm like, hey, how many days can you go to the gym? If they only can give me 3 days a week, I'm like, all right, we're gonna do a push-pull leg split because I want to hit those muscle
Right.
groups. If they can give me 4, I'm like, all right, we can make this work. If they can give me 5, it's a similar split to what I'm doing. But the thing is, they track their strength progressions. So the app is very interactive that they literally, I make them do this, a lot of if they can remember to do it, but I want them to literally track all of their weight. So I can see the strength progressions because I preach progressive overload, progressive overload, progressive overload. So try to increase the weight as frequently as possible between sets, between movements and so forth because we want to see that progression. So we learn.
So if you're increasing the weight, that means you're doing less reps?
Not necessarily.
Alright, because I'm just like somebody at basic who's listening is not gonna
So
understand.
progressive overload is...
yeah.
So you want to describe
Go
progressive
for it.
overload?
Grab it a little bit.
No, by all means. That's why you're here.
Okay. So progressive overload more so is being able to increase, there's a lot of ways to go about doing this. You can increase the volume,
Yep.
you can increase the intensity, or you can increase the load.
Okay.
So what I mainly focus on for those that I work with is going about increasing the load.
Okay.
So when I build out workouts for the clients that we work with, I usually utilize a 6 to 8 week training block.
Okay.
And for some clients I do longer, just because being able to keep the workouts the same, allowing your body to get really acclimated and adapted to those movements and the patterns of the exercises and the sets and reps that I have that individual doing is going to be allowing their body to truly get, like I said, acclimated to that.
Your body wants consistency.
Yep, it's going to be key. So what I have them do is I literally, you do the exercise, I'm going to provide you the sets, the reps that I want you to do, and the rest periods.
Okay.
So as they go throughout that first week, it's more like I call it a beginner week, just because again, a lot of the times, new exercise is going to be just kind of a new workload that they're going to be presented to,
Mhm.
but they log their kind of foundational weights,
Okay.
right? So hey, they did a barbell bench press, 135 pounds for 12 reps. So come that second week or come that third week, I would love to see that weight go up. So they did that for 12 reps at 135 pounds.
For how many sets though?
Let's just say, for example, that's their first set. If they're doing 4 sets there, 12, 10, 8, 6.
Okay, so you do 12, 10, 8, 6 reps. So almost like the pyramid.
Sometimes, because I did 15.
Well, I'm
12,
just trying to give somebody like a basic progressive.
Yep, so I always change it up, because that's another thing too. I said you can do it by volume. So sometimes I change, like Tony said, he's doing a 15, 12, 10 split right now. Okay. So it's constantly, I constantly change it up per individual, because I learn. So I'm going to see what works best for Tony. I'm going to see what works best for me. Like, it's just cool because everyone's different.
And you can progressively overload a drop set too. So it's the same
drop
thing.
set, super
15,
sets.
12, 10 drop set. So I'll do 15 at the heaviest where I can do the 15, cut it in half, and then rep out till failure.
Yep.
That's one set. And then I'll wait for 60 seconds to 90 seconds, do it at 12. 12 as heavy as I fucking can go, cut it in half, and just rep out. Even if it's 50 more reps, it's just more. It's more flexion and more freaking trauma to the muscle.
Yep, it's more volume at that point. So it's just a matter of increasing, like I said, volume, intensity, or load.
So just so you feel some type of pump too, that's kind of important, right? You shouldn't do a set and not feel like you did anything.
Yeah, well, I always tell people too, like, this is a big question that I get asked in online coaching because I'm not in the gym with them physically, right? Because if I was in the gym training them, I can tell them like, hey, like, this looks super easy. We're going to throw on 5 more pounds or 10 more pounds, right? So what I always tell my clients is if you're doing, let's say, for example, a set of 10 reps, I would love for the first 6 reps to be pretty smooth and that last 4 to be like a grind out. Okay. But keep good form. I always preach you got to keep form. Yep. Most important thing. But I would love those last 3 to 4 reps to be like a little bit more of like, you know, I had to kind of power my way through this. Yeah. So that's important. But again, tracking your weights are so freaking important.
Yeah. I like that the app gives you like just so much, even as the user, like as the client, you're getting a ton of data, but as the back office goes,
it's phenomenal.
It's all graphs and charts, and it tells you where people are like, where you can tell where they're not making progress and where they're just fucking excelling.
Yep. And that's how I build the workouts out. Because like I said, 6 to 8 weeks I go in and like Tony said, everything's like literally line graphs. So I can see where things are going up for the movements that they're like, again, really responding well to, and where things are just flatlined or going down. Because that happens too. Sometimes the body's not going to respond in a positive way. Those are the exercises that I'll talk to the individual about. I'm like, hey, like, what's been going on with like straight leg deadlifts? And like, you know, I haven't been feeling my hamstrings. Like, I've been getting some lower back pain. Like, that's the feedback that I need. So I'm like, all right, we want to target the hamstrings and the glutes in a different way. Let's try a lying leg curl instead. Like, just again, targeting the same muscle group, but doing a different exercise, doing a different movement.
Yeah, it's a way of like analyzing your whole workout from the outside. You're taking that like balcony view of what's going on and what you could change to make it a little bit better.
Yep.
And like you said, you're not there with the people, so sometimes you have to remind them time under tension is super important. Oh, yeah. If you're sitting here for 15 reps and it takes you 4 seconds, you might feel burned, but you're getting no actual trauma to the muscle, nothing. And you can't grow muscle without creating trauma. No. So it's literally, you have to sometimes put in those notes, 3 count up, 3 count release. Yep. If the last 4 you've got to fucking swing your body into it to get them, by all means do it, but we want the first 10 or 12 or 11, whatever makes 15, just to be nice, smooth.
That's form and tempo.
And like feeling, what do you think about the mind-body connection to muscle?
If you don't feel it, that's 3 up, 3 down.
Like, I mean, obviously certain muscles you have a better connection with, and they seem to be the ones that grow faster.
Yep. Well, it's funny because I literally, for my splits now, I literally do the same exercises. Like, you can look back at my workout log the past like 2 to 3 years, constantly the same exercises, just because I know what I feel best, my muscle connection wise, for my chest days, my back days, like my arm days, my shoulder days, like.
Plus, don't you get pumped up when you know what day it is and you know what your plan is? Like, I don't like going. Like, I literally don't like going to the gym if I don't have a plan.
Oh, I hate it. I hate it.
Which is why I appreciate not having to make my own plan.
Yep.
Because if I do plan, I have too many other clients. Not too many. Always can eat more.
Call me 267.
But I mean, I'm just saying, like, it's nice to not have to, as a trainer, think about what am I doing for myself today. Because normally, if I have to think about it, I'm just going to do chest every fucking day.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm literally, if you film me for a week of working out, if I don't have my app on me, chest will be touched at least 4 of 9 workouts that day.
Yeah.
How much can I bench today?
Yeah, I did 500 yesterday. Let's see if I can get 505 today. Just have a pec tear.
Yeah.
So for somebody just starting, say they're not ready to call you, they're just starting to go to the gym, January's coming, they're big new year, new me people. What is a few things they could kind of do? Like, what was the split you said? A couple days a week?
So I did the 5-day split. Okay. So chest and tris are on Tuesday. I switched it around. So I do back and biceps on Monday, chest and tris on Tuesday. I do, depending on how my shoulders are feeling from that chest and tri workout, I'm either going to do shoulders on Wednesday or legs. Okay. I've been doing legs recently. And then shoulders are usually, I'll take an off day usually on Thursday. Shoulders I'll do on Friday, and then I'll do arms on one day during the weekend.
Okay, so are you going through, when you have your muscle split, are you going through each body group, or do you switch back and forth? You know what I'm saying? So what did you say your first day was?
Back and biceps.
So back and biceps. Do you do straight back, or do you do a back exercise that maybe?
So I'll do
bicep
4 to 5
exercise?
back exercises,
Okay.
and I'll do 2 bicep exercises. Because you're
Sure.
still working your biceps a little bit when
Yeah.
you're doing back training. You're still working your tris when you're doing chest.
So if somebody's doing that split, they want to do how many back exercises, say, and how many bicep?
I would suggest 3 to start. So I always love starting my workout with some sort of a pull down.
Okay.
So either that be like a pull down machine or a cable pull down, you know, the straight bar, close grip. I always start my back day with that. Then I usually go to some sort of a row, so dumbbell row. Tony's got that awesome hammer strength row over in the corner. That's my
Yeah,
favorite
I
row
love that
machine.
row machine.
Love it. So I do a row, and then I usually end with a superset of some sort. So I'll do usually like a cable pull down again or a cable row, and I love cable pull throughs. Just be able to work the serratus anterior right here, like that's just I just love that movement.
Yeah.
Again, because like it's personal preference for me, like that just feels great for me. And then I'll go about doing two bicep exercises.
Okay. What do we say? How many reps of each thing? Just for a starting.
General speaking, I would do 3 sets. Rep range will be, first set will be 15, second set will be 12, third set will be 10. Like you can't go
Okay.
wrong with that rep
Do
pattern.
they call that the pyramid? Was that ever called a
It
pyramid?
is,
I
it
think
is.
it
It's
is.
a
pyramid.
pyramid,
Yeah.
Because some people come
It's
down,
pyramid.
some people go up.
Yeah,
Like some
it
people
just
literally
depends. Yeah.
start heavier load and they'll drop the weight and do higher volume on the back end.
Okay.
So, but again, it's all preference.
Yeah. I'm just trying to give somebody like a beginner
So you
before
can
they're
go
ready
or
to
you can
call.
strip the weight. You can start heavy, go light, or you can start light, go heavy.
Yeah, I usually do the pyramid and then a burnout at the end.
Which is great.
Yeah.
Yeah, bring the muscle to the draw.
Same as the drop set, yeah.
Yep.
Well,
So-
I mean, another thing is, do you have to be a Make Waves client for people to join your guys' Facebook group?
No, so that Facebook group's open to everybody.
That's what I thought. Because when he asked how do people, if they're not ready to fully commit, you guys have a ton of challenges on there.
Oh,
They
dude.
don't cost anything except
No.
for accountability.
No.
You have a bunch of forums where you guys talk about healthy diets, and clients are posting real photos of what they made last night
Yeah.
or last week, or helpful fucking recipes, or things that they can do, like just random stuff. Hey, I was at a park today, decided to do this.
Yeah.
And it's out there for everybody to see.
Yeah, and that's like we literally like I have a basic gym complete workout guide and home workout guide that like anyone that joins the Facebook group like they have access to. So like, that's the thing, like we
Yeah.
just want to get as many people into that group just because like volumes, you know, it's important to have those numbers.
It's
So-
nice to have the numbers in there. It helps with churn too, because some of those people that might hit their plateau with you, or they need to take a break for X, Y, or Z, might make room for somebody who's finally ready to make that step up
Yeah.
and go to the next level.
Yeah.
But it's just nice to see when one person posts something and 200 people reply.
Oh, dude, it's phenomenal.
It's okay. People give a shit.
Yeah, I love that, man. I love that. But that's the thing, like, that group's open to everybody. Like I want as many people in there as possible just because it's just free value. Like,
What's the
that's
group name?
The Flexible Dieting Lifestyle.
Yep.
So just because again we always preach like sustainability when it comes to the flexible dieting side of things.
No, I think it's
So,
important.
But yeah, that group's everything. Just because like I go live twice a week in there, Monday mornings and then Wednesday afternoons, just going over a topic that people usually vote on, like something that's important that people have been struggling with. We have recipe Thursdays that people just post their recipes in there. So people get a lot of like different meal ideas, which is always fun. And then usually on Friday, like my one assistant coach will go live doing a home workout, or I'll like post a workout in there with like a full breakdown.
Yeah.
So like just because people need workout ideas, so I'm like, hey, like this is a very kind of, and it's all basic stuff. Just because the majority of people in that group are like just new to this.
Yeah, they're not quite ready to
You know?
make the commitment to
So,
you.
so that's the best thing about it.
And some
Like
of them
that's,
have also been clients for a long ass
Oh,
time.
for years.
And have hit that spot where like, okay, I've gotten all this knowledge, let me share some of it.
Yeah.
With people who might make the decision to join on.
yeah, which I love.
Which is cool. I mean, I appreciate that part. Because that was all new to me too when I joined up. I'm like, do I really want to join a Facebook group?
Yeah, no, it's weird, man.
Like, it's you clicking the button and then I'm like, all right, we'll see what happens. And
That's
then people
weird.
are like, hey, this is what I made today. I'm like, oh shit, that looks fucking good.
Yeah. No, I
Let's
love
try
it.
that tonight.
I love it. But it's great. Like, I never.
Tacos.
I never
Fuck yeah.
expected Facebook to be like that, but like it's just crazy like that because like Facebook was such a big thing when I was like, you know, when I was younger, and then when I got to college, it was all Instagram and YouTube, and I slowly kind of started going back to the Facebook side of things, and I realized like this is an incredible opportunity here.
Well,
Yeah,
so-
to build your own community.
Mhm.
And what's nice about those groups on Facebook, which I'm sure there's groups like that on other social media platforms too, but like when you go through your comments, you know there's not going to be somebody in there being a troll
No.
and saying fuck you, or like anything that random bots will say on
Yeah.
Instagram.
Oh,
or
yeah.
Or
anything
why are you
else.
posting your food? All right.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
what?
Yes.
That's what it's all
just,
about.
This is just what it's about.
Yep.
If you don't like it, just unfollow.
Yeah.
But that's not what you're here for, so let's go.
Yeah. No, it's just a great community, and like the thing too, like the biggest reason I wanted to get that going was just like the own media, right?
Right.
Because it's one of those things like I remember vividly, like Instagram went down I think last year for like 2 days. And I was shitting my pants because like that's where we
That's
get the
your
majority of
business.
our
You're
clients.
making
money.
Yeah, and it was just right then and there. I was like, we got to get other sources of media here. So Facebook group, email list, like that's when I started doubling down on this stuff. So it was like if Instagram goes away, like
How else do I monetize my following?
Yep.
Yeah.
So that was one of the biggest things. I'm like, we got to spend more time on Facebook and get the email list going. So it was a big wake up.
That would scare the shit out of me too.
It sucked.
What do you think was the biggest change going from being an employee to being your own business owner?
The hours working, man. I always joke. I literally, you know, when you're doing a 9 to 5, you're working the 9 to 5, and like now it's 24/7. But I love every single second of it. Like there is no days off.
You're on call. I mean, I remember texting you the day of your wedding, forgetting that it was your wedding, and you still responded.
Yep.
I'm telling you real quick, this is what I need you to do, but also I reminded you I'm at my wedding. I'm like,
Yep.
oh fuck, never mind. Talk to you in 2 weeks.
Like, so we can't FaceTime real quick?
And then he was like, hey, listen, we're getting ready for our honeymoon. It was like a voice memo. I'm checking in with everybody real fast. What's going on? And so then I did my voice memo back, and he's like, hold on, I'm going to call you in 2 minutes.
Yep.
No, I'll talk to you.
So I told my wife, I'm like, I need 3 days after the wedding and before we go on the honeymoon to take care of the final business stuff. I'm like, I just need that time.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, like, I'm very fortunate because she totally understands this too. But that was the thing, the biggest transition that even for the relationship, it put a little strain on us because I thought going full time with this was going to allow me to have more free time for like my family, my friends. But holy crap,
Your mind's always spinning.
I was wrong, man.
It's funny too because people are like, "Oh, you're off today." If they see on, it's like you're
No.
never off. My mind's always spinning. If you're not taking notes, working on something, that's just the way it has to be.
Yep. So, but I want to change it for the world. You know,
It's
I want to
nice
change it for the
that
world.
you're fully responsible for you.
Oh yeah, dude, I can't.
You're self-reliant on your income. You're self-reliant on making this work or not working, and you know that the not working isn't an option.
Yeah.
Because this is what you want to do.
Yeah.
That's the hardest part, I think, for people to like. My biggest thing, and I tell people this all the time, is if you don't take the next step and believe in yourself or bet on yourself or whatever you want to call it, ignite your own potential, whatever. If you don't stoke your own flame, no one's going to do it for you. And there's, like I said, I'm not throwing shade at anybody who works 9 to 5. I've done it. It wasn't for me. I just couldn't. I couldn't take directives from somebody that was either younger than me who didn't know what they were talking about, or older than me and never lived.
Yeah.
Those are my two options. I felt like in every job. Even in law enforcement, I just was. Yes, I follow directives and I'll follow orders. That's my job. That's what I'm here for. But why?
Yeah.
Tell me why. No, you can't tell me why. Then why the fuck am I doing it? Why are you telling me to do it?
That's the truth.
So now all I have to do is answer to my wife.
Yeah.
And I know why, because I said I do. And that makes my life easier.
Yep.
It doesn't make the hours any shorter, but it's definitely something that I wouldn't trade for the world.
Yeah.
I wouldn't go back to working for somebody else unless I, for some reason, absolutely had to.
Yep. No, that's the truth. Like I said, it was for me, taking PTO drove me crazy, and I'd ask someone else for permission for that. And then, like you said too, like I was capped at a salary. Like
Yep.
someone depicted how much money I was going to make. Drove me freaking nuts.
No matter how hard you worked.
That's the thing. Like, and I had no motivation to work. I knew I was going to get to this point, so like I was like, all right, I have to be here for a little bit. I got to pay my dues. But like, I'm like, if none of this worked out and I was in that position, I'm like, that would have drove me crazy. That I always was
That's
on
why
someone
I ended
else's.
up quitting the YMCA when I was a trainer, is because they were paying me like $14 an hour to train, but they were charging over $60 a session.
Yeah.
And I asked, I'm like 19, and I'm like, I want a raise. And I'm like, no. And I said, why? And they're like, well, because we don't have to. But that's your pay.
Yeah.
I said, do I have a non-compete? They said, nope. I quit that day and literally took my boot camp clients and my training clients across the street and started training at the football field.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'll figure it out. We were out there it was the first winter, and I'm like, maybe I should run a space. We're out there doing boot camp in the fucking snow and in the rain, and we did it for a year.
Yeah,
And then I
wrong state for
I
that.
finally rented a space, and we made it work. But I was never going to go back to working for somebody else unless I had to,
Mhm.
especially not in that aspect. Like I did law enforcement after that for a while, still while being in the fitness like forum. But it's just this is just better for my temperament.
Yeah.
I like people better this way.
And that's important.
Where do you,
Oh, no, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
So where do you guys see now? I mean, you've grown exponentially since 2016. Now, where do you see the next chapter of Team Make Waves?
So I mean, it's just still growing. Like that's the
Yeah.
biggest thing. Like I would love to be able to have well over like 5 to 1,000 clients on the team, and just keep growing those that are going to be working on the team too, like
Yeah.
assistant coaches and so forth. Just because it was one of those things too. Like in order for me to grow, I realized that I was the bottleneck of the business. Just because I was so scared to outsource work and trust other people to, of course, be part of the brand.
It's your baby.
Can they do it as well as you
Oh,
do it?
dude, drove me crazy. But I realized I was the bottleneck. Like it was one of those things. If I didn't kind of let out the reins a little bit, we wouldn't be able to grow. So I need to hire more people. I want to be able to bring on more coaches, and that's going to allow us to be able to expand, get more clients, and just be able to make more of an impact.
I mean, you're only as strong as a team, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you can't shoulder it all. I mean, you passed the point where you can do it all by yourself.
Yep.
So now it's just about delegation.
Yeah.
And the right people.
That's the biggest thing.
That's the hardest fucking part too, man.
It was scary, but again, like this was the first year that I hired, and it was the best year we had to date. So it was just truth that, hey, like this is what we need to do.
Do you like build out a business plan? Do you have like a vision board? How do you keep track of your goals, where you want to be?
So I do have a vision board. I have it in my office. I look at it every single morning, and it's not even really about the business. It's about things that I want in my life that the business can be able to provide.
Yep.
It's like my hard work to be able to provide. So it's like, where I see my wife and I, our next house, which is like crazy to say, but we're a few months away from that. Like it's just little things like that are like, where I would love for myself to be, things in, of course, tying it back to the business too. But that vision board is, like, again, it just keeps me kind of focused.
I swear by it.
Yeah.
And my wife turned me on to them. I never, if you
Well,
would
it's
have
the
told me
simplest
that
things,
before I met her, I would have been like, why the fuck would I put shit on the board?
Yeah.
Just go out and do it.
Mm-hmm.
But now that it's on the board, because of the level of importance, we go out and do what's on the board.
Yep.
I
You
tell
see
everybody
you
they're fucking
see
amazing.
that every single day, especially somewhere you
Yeah.
see it, and you're like, all right, that's what I'm working towards. When
Yeah.
you have a bad day, you look at it and you're like, that's why I killed myself today.
Yeah.
And you could continue to repeat it and repeat it. And
That's the
repeat
truth.
it.
And like in the past too, like that vision board for me was all about numbers. It was like, hey, I want to make this much, every single month, like this is going to be my total year end. It was all things that I thought were important at the time, but I realized that if I just keep showing up every single day, getting done the tasks I need to get done, like that's going to take care of itself. And
Exactly.
it's going to lead me to the other things that I want from hard work. You know what I'm saying? So that's like, again, what that vision board consists of now is just those other things that come from that hard work that allows me to get the numbers that we need to. So.
Yeah, man. I mean, I'm just thinking about mine right now, and I'm like, every day trying to check that one thing off.
Mhm.
And the list of priority, top to bottom.
Yep.
Yeah, they're fun.
Yeah.
They're a good tool.
Yeah, no, it's very helpful. Because it's funny, I thought that was like, when people told me to do that back in the day, because of course I always try to talk and network with other people that are way, extremely way ahead of me. So I was like, all right, they've been in my shoes before, let me see what goes on, and that's the biggest thing to say.
I think every single person we've interviewed so far has either had a vision board or has some form
Well,
of
it's something
way
like a
of
SWOT
tracking
chart.
their
You know what a
goals.
SWOT chart is?
Mhm.
Strengths and weaknesses.
Yep.
I mean, that's just as effective as a vision board. It's telling you areas of focus, and that's all a vision board is. What do I need? It's myopic focus on this piece right here, this piece right here. A SWOT chart. Well, I know that I'm good over here.
Yep.
It's that side I have to fucking worry about, and how do I make that side just a fucking peer,
Yep.
or make one of those weaknesses a strength, and the rest will follow.
Yep.
And those are kind of like the hardest things, right? And that takes a lot of metal.
Yeah. And I do that literally I made that SWOT chart last week.
Yeah.
Every year end I spend my
to.
time. And it's so funny because like, my weaknesses area is so much greater than anything else. But I'm like, I love that
That's
because
honest.
that's how you grow, you know
That's
what I'm
honest.
saying? Being able to cross those off the list.
Yeah, and sometimes that shit creeps back in. You might look at a SWOT chart from 2 years ago where time management was on the weakness
Mhm.
side, and then you were able to cross it off for 2 years, then you have kids, and it kind of just starts flipping back over to that weakness side, where because I love my business, but I love my wife, and I
Yeah.
love my children. Like, my time management, the SWOT chart's for your business, right? So my time management might be a weakness again.
Yeah.
And you just gotta say, fuck it, there it is, let's cross it off, let's
Yep.
fix it, let's make it work for everything. That might be hiring another coach, or delegating some more of your responsibilities, or just not seeing your family anymore.
Yeah.
It's your choice.
Yeah, no, it's the truth. It is the truth.
Yeah.
So, but it's important. It's important, and that's all stuff that I learned throughout the years. I used to never done any of this stuff, and as I gotten older, and I mean, I know where, nowhere near where I want to be. But it's like little things like that that I'm realizing.
Would you
like, all right,
really
this is
want to?
important.
Would you want to be today where you want to be in 5 years?
I want to be
Like,
today.
if you could fast forward your life, the next 5 years are just a blur. No
Oh,
memory.
absolutely not.
Right.
Absolutely not.
So
man.
you're in a good spot then.
Yes, totally.
Because I don't
Get
know
a
that I would
stroke as
ever.
hell.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would never press the fast forward button. One, you can't buy more time.
No.
So if I just lost 5 years, I'm closer to death than I am being alive.
Yep.
And two, if I don't have any memories from those 5 years, if I had every fucking memory and I lived those experiences, I could just say, boop, I'm there. You might have me on.
But you're not really there.
But that's not going to fucking
You're still
happen.
not there.
Yeah. Because once I get there, that was only pressing fast forward for 5 years.
Yeah.
I got like another 50 years to go.
Yeah, that's the truth, man.
Yeah.
The struggles are everything. Like that's the best thing. I look back and that's the memories. Like it's funny too because like I I missed some of the struggles when I was working, working full time and doing this on the side. Like I would be up to like 2, 3 in the morning, like doing program builds and doing check-ins back then.
Yeah, and you look back and you're like,
damn, man, those are great days.
Yeah.
And I'm like, now I'm getting back to people during regular hours. I'm like, shit. So
what am I doing tonight?
but I miss those days. But like I said, I want to change it for the world. Where we're going to be going and like the struggles that we're probably going to have to, endure moving forward. So
definitely learning lessons, man.
Yeah.
I mean, shit, my first gym was not a complete flop, but it was a flop.
Yeah.
I didn't lose money on it, but I didn't make any on it.
Yeah.
But I had to learn. I never knew how to manage. I didn't know what money management was. I thought if it was in the bank account, it was yours to use.
Yep.
Not, oh wait, you're gonna have fucking bills next month, dum-dum. And so it took me like 6 months after I had sold the business to realize I'm ready to go open a new business. Why did that business fucking fail?
Mm-hmm.
Or why did I break even? You open a small business to sell it one day, right? So you make money on an exit. And well, if I open another business, I'm gonna want to sell it at some point, and I want to make money this time around.
Yep.
So it was just fucking trial and error and trying to figure shit out.
Yep.
And a lot of it was just understanding that you don't know. At the time that I opened the first space, you couldn't fucking tell me that I didn't know everything.
That's usually a problem.
Yeah, huge problem. You couldn't tell me that I was wrong because fuck you, I didn't ask.
Yep.
Now I'm asking. I ask anybody who's a peer or somebody who's, like you said, surpassed where I'm at.
Yeah.
And a lot of it's just taking their learned experience and figuring out, well, that doesn't work for what I'm doing. That doesn't work. Well, this works. Keep that. Put that to use. And it could be from somebody who's 70 years into their life or 25 years into it. They just made a shortcut or a workaround for something for me.
100%.
Easier, the better.
100%.
I don't care how old you are. If it's something of value, I'm going to use it.
Yeah. That was a big thing we did last year too. I hired a business coach for the first time ever. I swallowed my pride. I was like, you know what? It was expensive, but it was the best thing I've ever done.
As a business, as somebody with a business degree, hiring a business coach is probably the smartest thing you could have done, right?
Game changer. Game changer.
While it is counterintuitive to the piece of paper on the wall,
Yep.
I mean, it's super helpful to have somebody's outside perspective who knows what they're talking about as well.
And that's the thing. Like I was on the consultation call with him, and he was telling me all these things. It was crazy. He did a deep dive of like our entire business. Like we had like an hour-long Zoom call. I'll never forget it. And he was like, "This is what you're doing great. This is what you're doing bad. This is where I can take you." And I was like, "You are full of shit. There's no way."
No way that you can get me to where you can take me.
Yeah.
That you're saying? Yeah.
I was like, "I don't believe him." And he was like, "Give me a year." And
which is a small amount of time.
Oh,
to think about
100%.
how it's fleeting.
But it's a little that was the thing. The biggest thing we worked on that he helped me out with was being the bottleneck of the business and hiring. Just because I was by myself at that time.
Scale.
Yeah. So he was like, "This is where you're at." He was like, "The business is still going to grow, but he's like, you're going to have no time to focus on growing the business to the level that it could be."
Yeah, like you
if
can't
don't
grow a
get
business
out.
from inside the office.
Mm-hmm. So he's like, "You need to be the face of the company. You need to be the face of the business. You got to step taking on clients."
Yeah.
He was like, "You got to be more focusing on the business stuff and not focusing on within the business stuff." So, so that was the biggest thing.
And I think it's the hardest part, man, is being able to. It's a pride thing. Like, I have one of my best friends, Leo, is our investor for this space in our Obsequion location, and he's been in business his entire life. He has a super well done investment and wealth management company. And you would think that I would be like, yeah, whatever advice you have, I will take it.
Yep.
But I was so apprehensive at first, only because I've been so set in my ways of I stay in my lane. I don't care what the other gyms are doing. I don't go to the other gyms. I don't think I've ever stepped foot in somebody else's gym unless I'm on vacation. So I don't care if it works over there. This is what I know works for me.
Yep.
And I don't want to go outside of my lane.
Yep.
But it's, fuck, man. There were 2 or 3 times that I had to be like, okay, let's try it your way. And fuck you, it worked.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Now, some things I know I'm not everything is gold from everybody, but some things are.
Yeah.
It's super worthwhile listening.
Yeah, that was the biggest thing I learned too, because I picked what I wanted to hear and wanted to implement, and after that I was like, hey man, like, because at the end of the day, like, it's still your business, right?
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, you get the final call on what you want to do.
Yeah, I mean, that's
So-
just having a good operating agreement in place. You can have investors and partners who don't dictate what you do, but you should never be adverse to any kind of opinion. Are you in the gym anymore, like with clients, or
No.
you're just in for yourself now?
Completely out.
You want to get back into the gym?
Absolutely not.
No, you don't miss it at all, right?
No. And I loved everyone I worked with. It was a blessing being able to have that face-to-face interaction, and I honestly feel like that face-to-face interaction like helped me with the online space, like being able to understand like.
This dude just peed in one of my sinks.
Dude, he was quick, man. It was quick.
You gotta go. That water.
He was running. He was running. But no, what I was saying was I feel like that face-to-face interaction allowed me to like really understand the client, like being in their shoes, especially when they're going to be doing our workouts. But again, it was a matter of like, I realized when I worked with a client for 30 to 60 minutes in the gym, taking them through a training session, I'm able to do, again, like 5 or 6 or even more of those online,
Yeah.
being able to do check-ins.
Well, yeah, I mean, monetarily wise, unless you're charging that person for the 5 or 6 people you're not training, it doesn't make sense. But like, I literally pick and choose who I get to work out with now, based on the fact if I like them or not. Like, not if I like you as a person, but are we going to have a productive 60 minutes here?
Oh, yeah.
Are you going to fight me tooth and nail on what I want you to do? Or are you just going to show up, turn off your open your ears and just turn off the mouth and let's just do this? We're going to have great conversation. We're going to be friends. I'm going to see you out. We're going to drink some fucking tequila. But while we're here,
You gotta put in work.
like, you're on my time.
Yep.
You know, I've told 2 other people no to your yes.
Yep.
So let's train. And I wasn't always, I didn't, obviously I couldn't always do that. I had to take every single client that wanted to train, but now that I have the ability to afford some selectiveness, I think that the people that I do get to work with, I've seen
They benefit.
exponential change in quicker because it's more focused.
Yep.
It's what I want to do for you is, this is for you. Like, this isn't for me. I do appreciate you paying me for this. It's time. I don't have an infinite amount of it, but this is 100% for you.
Yeah.
And when they kind of click on that gear, it's just like, it's like you have over how many clients right now?
185.
And you touch base with each one of them.
Yep.
See, I'm only taking care of like 10 to 15 personally because 1, they're in our gyms, and so I'm in the gym, so it's easier for me to deal with them. But 2, I've been with them for over almost all of them for 2 or 3 years now, and I don't see myself ever stopping, even to the point where it's not a money thing anymore. It's as long as they're making the commitment to better themselves, and they're going to show up, and like, they don't ever not show up, which I love.
Yep.
If you're no call no show and you fuck me more than once, chances are I'm not going to train you again.
Yeah.
But like, none of them ever do it, and I can't, like, I've been doing this since I was 18, so almost 19 years now, and I've probably been canceled on or no call no show 1,000 times. And that's a real fucking number. Like, if I had to count it, it's like probably 1,000 fucking times.
Yeah.
It's a lot of just no shows. But I'm still here. I showed up for you. And I own gyms then. It's like I drove to the gym to train you.
Yep.
So now I've wasted my time, my gas. I don't get paid for this session, and you're now a fucking day behind.
Yep.
I'm not seeing you. It's Monday. I'm not seeing you again until Wednesday or Thursday. So
Yep.
now what are you going to do for the next 2 fucking days if I didn't tell you what to do?
Yeah.
And so
That's what drove me nuts about the in-gym training. Because like, same situation. I would see that person in the gym a lot of the times, because I'm a super nice guy.
Yeah.
And like, that was a problem too. Like, I couldn't show tough love, and I couldn't be, more like, hey, we got to put in the work. Like, because a lot of people just go to talk. It's a therapy session for some people.
It's their barbell therapy, bro.
So
It's like
I've realized that, and I also realized what they did once they left those doors was not beneficial at all to them progressing on their health and fitness journey. None of them followed a diet. None of them had any macro guidance or nutritional guidance.
I don't fuck with people's food, but I definitely know what you're talking about.
You know what I'm saying? And like, because I would talk to them, because like they would start to complain, like, hey, I've been with you for 6 weeks now, and I haven't lost any weight. But I try to explain, like, you see me once a week to go through one workout. We talk the entire time. I know this is on me, but I'm a friendly guy. I'm sorry. But what goes on beyond the gym? I don't see you in here any other day, and I have no idea what's on your plate.
But that's what would kill me too. Or I would see them there, and I'd see them socializing.
Yes.
Maybe get 2 or 3 clean sets out of 75 minutes.
Yep.
2 or 3 clean sets, and everything else was you do 2 or 3 reps, and you're talking to Joe sitting next to you.
Yeah.
Or someone's texted you, and then I'm like, yo, motherfucker. Like, I already don't fuck with diets because that's not my wheelhouse. I don't know anything about it. But I wrote down your workouts this week. I didn't have an app for you. I wrote it down on
Yep.
a little fucking composition book for you. And I know that you're not doing it because I didn't see the fucking book.
Yeah. It sucks.
You didn't memorize that workout.
Yeah,
I
there's
guarantee
no
it.
way.
It
So if
sucks.
you're not going to use the tools that we have in front of you on days that we're not with you, and I'm going to be here watching you not be accountable,
Yep.
thankfully I'm at a spot where I can,
Yep.
I don't have to train that client.
Yep.
Somebody else can. But you take it personally when they're not making their goals because you're engaged.
Yep.
And it's personal to you because it's your livelihood.
Yeah.
It's personal to me because it's my fucking livelihood.
Yep.
And it's also personal because I'm friendly too. I like people.
Yep.
So chances are if we're training, yes, we're going to talk a lot, but I'm only going to talk when you're in rest.
Yeah.
And if my watch vibrates on your 45 seconds of preset rest,
You gotta go.
then I'm going to stop talking and I'm going to say, let's fucking go.
Yep.
Talk to you in about 30 seconds.
Yep.
I'm going to be here.
That's the way it's got to be, though.
So, you run your own business. You're staying in shape. You're living life on your terms.
Yep.
What do you think it takes to continue to build a superior you?
Honestly, like for me, it's just being able to be of service of other people, like just being able to make value for others. I feel like, right? Like that's what drives me. That's my drug. At the end of the day, like I look back to just that high I get every single day of talking to the people that I get to like Tony, the people that I get to serve, be able to, of course, help. And being able to hear that, you changed my life to, oh my gosh, I lost 5 pounds. Like the little things like that, man, like that fills my cup.
Yeah, I think that's even better than money sometimes. When somebody's like, you helped change my life, and you're like, wait, especially, I mean, it's on a different level, but you see it with just like the people who follow you who will say something to you like that. It's pretty awesome. Like,
it's incredible.
The things that you think are normal, everyday things, somebody else sees that and they're like, holy shit, if I could do just a little bit of that, I'd be so much better off. And it's rewarding when that does happen.
That's the biggest thing. Like, I just to keep going forward, just continue to serve. Just continue to provide value is going to be the biggest thing.
That kind of leads me into the next question. We ask kind of everybody. Kind of leaves you right
just so
there.
You know, Basu is one life, infinite progress.
I love it.
So you have to. So basically, you live by values and principles. What would you say are a few of the major ones that you live by that you would want your family and friends to kind of know you by and kind of live by after you're gone?
What do you want to be remembered for? Who you are, or what you did? And if it's either one,
what I did.
Yeah,
that's even the biggest
and
thing.
What do you do for people?
Help them with their fitness.
You help them. Across all means, right?
Yeah, but what do you live like? What are like main things? Do you live by hard work? Do you live by like? What are some of your main things that you stand for? Like integrity? Do you stand for hard work? Do you stand for a pursuit of something? I don't, just like main core things that you see that you're like, this is one of my main things. Is there any major?
Hard work's definitely going to be a driving factor, just because like none of this would be possible without hard work and putting in that work. And I hate to say it, but I feel like a lot of people just aren't willing to do that.
Yeah. And
it drives me nuts. Like that, I know that we're going off topic, but
no, this is absolutely the topic.
Me freaking nuts.
This
man.
is the instant gratification conversation we were having before the show.
So that's one of the biggest things. Like I want to be remembered for that, and like I truly feel like I am going to be remembered for that, just because I love that too, because I'm very competitive. I'm like, no one can outwork me for what I'm trying to do, and like where I see myself, and for my wife and my future family and stuff like that. Like I'm gonna put in the work and I'm gonna make it happen. So like hard work's gonna be a big one, and then also being able to just be grateful. I think it's important to be grateful for everything. So practicing that gratitude is gonna be very, very important. And like that's definitely just a piece of advice I would recommend, like offer to anybody,
just in general.
Yep. So that's gonna be a big one.
None of this should happen overnight.
Yeah. And it's important to remember that.
Yeah.
So, and with that too, like you said, pursuing a dream, pursuing a vision. Like when I first started, is a big part of this too for me was YouTube. And like my whole little slogan back then was live out your passion.
Okay.
Like it was so corny, but like it was the truth. Like I was so passionate about fitness and helping people that I was like, I'm gonna live out my passion. Where's it gonna take me? I have no idea.
Yeah.
But like for me, that pursuit, like literally, was I woke up every single morning. I was like, I'm not, where I am right now or where I want to be, but I'm gonna be living out my passion. I'm gonna make it happen.
And I'm grateful for where I am now.
Yep.
And I'm grateful for the opportunities that are gonna come because I'm working my ass off every single day.
Yeah, so they all tie in together. So.
Okay. Sorry, I had to kind of put it together just.
No, that was it. That was it. That was a tough question, but
they're always that's the hardest question for everybody because one, it's on the spot, and two, it's like
you don't think about that every day.
It's deep. Yeah, it's deeper than just whatever comes out first in your mind. Because like for me, it's like, what do I want to be remembered for? I can't tell you.
Yep.
I just want I want my family and the people that are in my inner circle to know that I love them, I cared for them, I did my best to provide, and hopefully that they hopefully see that it was done with integrity and it was done with the purpose of it was done with the purpose of making their lives better.
That's when it's
real.
real.
Taking away some struggle, whether we would have had it or not. Not having it's, in my opinion, the best thing for them.
Yeah.
They can learn other things, other ways. It doesn't have to be. You don't have to have a hard knock life to understand struggle. Yeah. So if you can take that hard knocks away from people, I still think that you can teach them what struggle and strife are in a more positive way.
100%.
Especially when it's your house. It's your household. It's where you sleep. It's where you live. It's where you love.
Yeah. That's like the big thing. Like my dad, started from nothing. Like looking back at this too, like he's like a huge inspiration to me, right? Because he started from nothing and he provided an incredible life for my sisters, my mom.
It's like my mom's.
You know what I'm saying? And like I look back now and I'm like, I want that life for my family. Like my dad works his ass off for everything he was able to do for us, and like that's my drive, man. Like
having kids to be able to look up to you and be like,
just like Tony said, like I don't want them to go through a struggle. I don't want any financial burden to be able, like if they want to do something, I want them to be able to do it. Like, and of course, like have them understand the value of hard work. Because my dad did a great job, of course, with
I feel like that becomes the toughest part because I don't have kids yet. But like as you are able to do all these things, it's like, okay, should I let them get away with being able to do this without earning it because I went through the struggle? but it's like I feel like they need to struggle.
Yeah. Because my dad was the
Right,
one that
that's the
got me.
hardest part, is trying to find ways to make them understand struggle without worrying about strife.
Yep.
You know, you take away the fear of struggle, because yeah, you're going to struggle. Shit's going to be hard. We're going to make it hard for you on purpose.
Yeah.
But know that
They
if
learn.
you fall, we're going to pick you up.
Yep.
You're not going to stay down. We'll always be there to pick you the fuck back up. You're
Yep.
always going to walk tall. So.
No, it's
But yeah, I
important.
definitely think struggle's important. I kind of learned
Struggle's
that
huge. Yeah.
young. My dad made me work like a motherfucker.
Yeah, but that's
I mean
that's
now,
awesome.
Your dad
now
still
I
works
could
like a
work.
motherfucker.
I
He
know.
doesn't have to.
I was like 15. I helped him. He was a painting contractor. It was like the first job we're on. We're outside working. I put a 15-foot ladder up. I'm working on something. Boom! I go straight down. He's on the roof, and he looks down. He goes, "You spilled any paint?" I'm like, "What the fuck?"
That's the first question.
That was the first question. He loved me. He checked on me, but it was just like, you know, he just instilled that hard work in me.
Mhm.
Where now my girl's like, "Wait, what are you doing?" It's like 10 o'clock at night. I'm fixing something.
Yeah.
Like my days don't stop because I know how to just keep going. Hammer.
Just
Yeah.
because it says 10 p.m. doesn't mean your day's done.
Yep.
Yeah, I know,
Yeah.
but you know, with the regular person,
No,
they work their
100%.
nine to
that,
four,
watching
it's
that
like
on
I'm
done.
agreeing with you.
Yeah,
I'm saying,
no,
like,
absolutely.
I don't give a fuck what time the clock says. My brain says go do this, so I'm doing it.
Yep.
Yeah, especially with something you want to do, like obviously a job. When it's your job, you're just like, I gotta put in these hours. When it's something for you that you're passionate about,
Yeah.
you're like, I could work all night if
Oh,
I
dude,
had
it's
to.
the best, man.
I'm just not working all night because you're here.
Yep.
If you weren't here, I'd be pounding away until
Yep.
2 a.m.
Yeah, that's the truth. It's
My
the
wife's
truth.
like, what are you writing on your phone? Who are you texting right now? I turn my phone. It's just a long ass note in my notes thing. She's like, what is that? I said, stuff I want to talk about on the podcast, or like shorts, or anything that comes to my mind that I think might be useful to somebody else in a further conversation. If I don't write it down, it's gonna just
Yeah, it's
go
gonna go
away.
away.
And maybe I'll find it again, but not the way my brain works.
Yep.
Just the attention span's not there.
That's the best, man. That's why the car right down here was 40 minutes for me.
Yeah.
Complete silence. I'm cruising on the AC Expressway, just thinking, like little things like that. Like that's my valuable time. You know what I'm saying? So.
I think some people are scared of that, like thinking, like of why. Like I try and understand why people are so in need of like substances, of like alcohol, like drugs, and all that.
I like
Or,
the
like,
taste
a
of tequila,
constant-
Steve. That's all.
But I'm saying like people do it every fucking day.
No, I do not.
But it's like, do they constantly need to not be able to think about life? To think about like I enjoy it. I don't know.
I truly enjoy it too. That's another thing I feel my cup and excites me.
I think if you don't know any better, or don't try to understand the difference between, this is not new information. Everybody says this. Like much greater minds have said, you work 9 to 5 and go home and don't do anything for yourself. Okay, there's 16 hours left in the day. Let's call 8. Most people don't sleep 8 hours, but let's say 8. So now 8 hours of sleep, 8 hours of work, 16 hours, 8 hours left. You don't watch TV for 8 fucking hours. If you do, please go for a fucking walk, or listen to a podcast, or anything else besides just staring at that TV, just getting zombified.
Yep.
But until you can break that cycle, break that habit, or have that kind of outside thought where it's like, okay, this isn't healthy. What can I be doing to make it more healthier? And it doesn't have to be another job or a grunt like starting your own podcast or anything else that has to do with money. It could just be not watching fucking television, reading a book.
Yeah.
Or go to the coffee shop and read a book. Go out and socialize. Anything besides just sitting there in silence, having something just dictate to you.
I think learning how to be alone is really important. People don't know how to be alone. You don't know how to I started I do an outdoor workout, even if it's just a walk. I started doing that without my phone or anything.
Yeah.
Just time for it to spin,
Yeah.
think about things.
That's the best, man.
And it's weird because the first time you do it, you're like, oh, I need my phone.
Yeah.
And then you start getting really comfortable just not hearing anything and just taking in your life, your day, little things come to mind.
No, it's the best.
I've been getting big into fire pitting. I will
Chilling by the
leave,
fire,
yeah,
just
I'll
straight
leave
chilling.
my phone either inside or in my pocket. I probably won't even look at it when I'm staring at the fire.
Yeah.
But I have my 2 dumb dogs outside with me, because if I'm outside, they're outside. Fire, 30, 40 minutes. I'll wait for her to text me, say, hey, baby's up. I'll come inside. And otherwise, yeah, I appreciate the silence.
Yeah, no, it's nothing like it. There's really nothing like it. So.
Yeah.
Where can people find you if they want to
Oh yeah,
learn
tell
more
them
about
all
you?
There's a lot.
your ats.
So the first is at Mattlee Fit, so MattleeFit. That's going to be Instagram and TikTok, and then like I said, Facebook's going to be the Flexible Dieting Lifestyle, and then my website is just MattleeFit.com.
Yeah, we'll put links on everything too, guys. All of the reels and actually on the podcast as well.
Cool.
We'll get it all out there.
And before you leave, one important thing. Like the video, subscribe to the channel.
Oh.
A lot more shit coming at you. I even pulled these through.
I thought you were going to tell me something I forgot
I thought
to
this
say.
was
I'm
deep
like,
shit.
See ya.
Thanks, guys.
Awesome, guys. Thank you.
It's fucking cold here.
It
It's
is
still
very
getting warm.
cold.
It's probably
It is
20
warm,
degrees
indeed.
warmer right outside this fucking door.
This was great, guys. Thank you so much.
Yeah, man. Thanks for coming on.
Absolutely.
So open the fucking door and get some warmth.
Put my sweatshirt back on.
But that was getting a little tight.